Hi, ladies. So I want to start by reading a excerpt from Streams in the Desert, which is a devotional. So the first little section I want to share with you guys on our topic of manipulation and faith today. It says, whenever I have seen God's wondrous work in the case of some miraculous healing or extraordinary deliverance by his providence, the thing that has always impressed me most was the absolute quietness in which it was done. I have also been impressed by the absence of anything sensational or dramatic and the utter sense of my own uselessness as I stood in the presence of this mighty God, realizing how easy all this was for him to do without even the faintest effort on his part or the slightest help from me. I've been desperately, as you ladies know, been trying to get ready, to have Margot, and, what can I do to make, labor start, and how can I figure out every little detail of how she's going to be born, and, whose schedule I need to keep in mind, and all of those things. And there were many nights where I would go to bed, and then, I'd actually go to bed with, the start of contractions, and then I would wake up kind of discouraged and depressed because they would stop, and I would feel fine. And I just want to be clear that when I share this with you guys, it's not that I'm trying to say, oh, I'm the only one that's ever been pregnant, or I'm the only one that's ever been overdue, or anything like that. But my heart is to share with you guys all that the Lord has done in and through, trying to teach me patience. So on Friday night, my best friend called, and she said, hey, after me sharing with her, I just feel like depressed, honestly. I just feel like, I am trying to be, positive, but I just feel really down. And so she said, let me pray for you. And she prayed a lot of different things, but among them, she prayed specifically, and she said, Lord, I pray in the name of Jesus that this baby would be born tonight or, tomorrow morning. And that was on Friday night. Well, she told me that she also woke up, at 2 that morning, Saturday morning, and prayed, Lord, I pray, again, in the name of Jesus, that her labor would start, and it started half hour later. So, personally, I've been kind of wary of praying sort of really specific prayers. And I think the reason being is just because sometimes they can be misused. People pray very specific things, sort of not taking into account what the Lord's will, is in a certain situation. But we're told, that we can pray anything in the Lord's name, and he'll hear our prayers, and that he will answer according to his will. So if there's anything that I could tell you guys over the past, few weeks, it's the importance of prayer, and even in praying specific prayers. I don't think I could ever remember a time or season where I've prayed the exact same prayer every single day. But for the past few weeks, I've prayed, Lord, please bring Margot. And not that I wanted her to be born early necessarily. It was just towards the end, when you're nearing your due date, and your due date comes and goes, and that sort of a thing. But the thing that I was so encouraged by in praying the same prayer every day is that the Lord was never sick of me praying the same thing, right? He's not like, oh great, she's asking the same thing again. It's not like I am with my son where, when he's asking for the same thing over and over again, it's something that I don't necessarily, want in that moment for him to have, where I kind of get sick of him. The Lord's not, he's not that way with us. I'm really encouraged by that. And so I just want to share with you guys, as women, we manipulate a lot of things, right? We sort of, without knowing it or realize it, we manipulate, a lot of people in our relationships, in our spouses. We use our emotions. We manipulate certain situations and circumstances. And what I've, I guess, come to realize is that I was trying to manipulate, how she would come, and it's not bad to use, the natural methods that everybody recommends. But for me, that's not what the Lord wanted. He wanted to show himself so faithful and so strong through prayer alone. And that's exactly what he did. My daily prayers coupled with with my friend Madeline's prayers, that I would trust that when the time came, his time, that she would come in a way that was only possible by his hand. That she would come quickly, that we would pretty much just barely make it to the hospital, that our on-call person would be available to come and stay with our son. Everything really worked out perfectly. And so I want to just share, Psalm 46:10 that says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world." So being still and recognizing that God is God means what? It means trusting that he keeps his word. It means trusting that his hand is in all and over all. And lastly, it means entrusting our will to him. Let's be women of faith who trust in God for all things, big and small. Let's be women of prayer who go to him and maybe pray the same prayer every single day, knowing that it doesn't, weary him. He's not tired or annoyed even, but he is excited to hear from us and to answer our prayers in his will and his way and according to his timing. So I'm excited to share with you guys that Margot is finally here and that she came just perfectly according to the Lord's will. So I love you, ladies, and just want to again encourage you guys, whatever it is you're praying for, the Lord knows and the Lord hears, and he's got a perfect plan. So again, if there's any way that we can sense that we're trying to manipulate a situation according to our own hand and our own works, let's trust the Lord in faith. So I love you guys, and I will see you soon.